right. 60 something. Are you 60 something? Well, I am too, so let's talk about it.
Everybody lies and everybody tries. Everybody likes to wear a disguise. Everybody dies and everybody lies sometime.
So, I've been thinking, what do I want this podcast to be about? I mean, what do I want it to mean? Okay, so we know the basis is 60 something, but how does it differ from any other podcast out there? How does it differ from my other podcasts? For example, I have 4 other podcasts under my name, Glenn Darby. There is Club Grief. I started that after my wife Heidi passed away in 2024 to share my grief experience. Then there's Growing Up White. It's weird. Basically, it's my life as a young kid, boy, male, man, youth, teen, 20-something from 1970 through 1988, an experience of growing up white. Then there's My Friend Glenn, which was started in 2021, and I interviewed people that I knew. They weren't famous. For example, my yoga teacher, my acupuncturist, a woman I know who's an editor, a woman I knew who produced, directed, started her own comedy first independent movie. She does improv also. Then there's Dead Uber Driver, a fictional drama inspired by true life events here in Los Angeles, California. And that brings me to my current one, which is right here, 60 something. So what I want to do is share my experiences of being 60 something and what it means. Maybe it'll help you. I'll give you some of my life lessons. Like when I say lessons, some of the biggest mistakes I've made, and maybe not regrets, but things I've learned, like what I should have done. And I do remember when I turned 60, the world shut down. Actually on my birthday, March 12th. We went home. We didn't know we were going back to work. So I thought, all right, well, it's kind of shocking. First you turn 60, you know what's going to happen in the world and what's going on. But we made it through, because here it is in 2025, 5 years later, and we made it through. But I remember I didn't do anything special. And I think growing up, I thought each decade, for example, when you turn, say, 13, it's a big deal because you're a teenager, okay? And in the Jewish culture, it's a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah. And then when I turned 16, I got my driver's license, and that was freedom. So 13 was a big deal, 16 was a big deal, and then 18, of course, you get the vote, and you could get drafted, but I wasn't around when the draft was going on. And also, in some states, you could drink alcohol legally. In Pennsylvania, where I was, it was 21. So we can go across the river to Jersey and drink at 18. And then at 21, I could drink legally, go in the bars in Pennsylvania. But, sometimes you would have fake IDs and get in the bars when you're underage. But after a while, it kind of gets boring and you get used to like, oh, I'm 21, so big deal, I can drink legally. It was more fun when you couldn't do it. And then after 21, it was 30. Which at one time was considered over the hill, which is kind of funny now if you're 60 something. And then of course you just go by decades, like 30, 40, 50, a half a century, then 60. And I think at 60, well, let me tell you, at 50, my wife, when she was around, of course, she had a friend who was older than us, and he told her, now that I'm 50, the best years of my life are behind me. Well, honestly, that's not really true. Well, not for me, and hopefully not for you. So anyway, after 50, then you turn 60. Go, oh, I think things get a little different. Now, there was that saying, 50 is the new 30, which is kind of funny. It's a joke. But 60 is kind of like, okay, now where am I heading? It's not 70, it's not 80, it's 60. Like, okay, what am I thinking about? Well, in this country, at 62, I think it's called early retirement, and 65 is early retirement. But 65 also in this country, I learned, is you have to get on Medicare A, Medicare B. And honestly, I was clueless about it. However, I was automatically enrolled in Medicare A and B. A, free, B, not free. B costing $185 a month. However, if you have insurance through your company or your union or whoever you're still working with, then you'll be okay. If not, you gotta get Medicare A, Medicare B, which you pay for. Then there's C and D, but be careful. There are a lot of people out there who will scam you and try to rip you off now that you're 60 something and you have to enroll in these programs. So be very, very careful. Talk to family, talk to friends, talk to anybody going through it. I can give you tips and pointers here, what I've been going through. But I was lucky. I have a union and a community fund that I reached out to, and they weren't trying to sell me anything, and I got a really good package. So be careful. And now, speaking about health, pay attention to your body. There's certain things you might want to get checked out. I mean, of course, there's all these things that could go wrong or might go wrong as you get older and older, or as I like to say, as we live longer and longer. Basically, just get all your vitals checked, all your blood work done. That'll help you out, tell you where you are, what your doctor needs, and what you need to do. And you might need to have some kind of like routine procedure, but like I said, pay attention to your body. Speaking of your body, when you look in the mirror, you're not gonna look the same as you did with 20 something, right? I mean, look, a few more wrinkles, maybe the jaw's not as sharp as it used to be, maybe the neck is drooping a little bit, maybe the hair is gray, maybe there's less hair, maybe there's no hair. But what I realized is that if you just accept, okay, I am 60 something, I look this way, I feel this way, then you're like, okay, how do I deal with life? What comes next? And I really mean that. What comes next? So I'm going to end the first episode with a positive thought. Remember, you're not retiring. You're going to do something new with your life, something exciting. Reach out. Find something to live for the next 20 years. All right. See you next time.